This is a quick walkthrough of the Stocks app and a short little description about important parts of what you're going to be dealing with in this stock market assignment in case you needed it to be repeated or you missed class the day that I explained it. We are going to be accessing the Stocks app that came on your iPad. So I'm going to open that up and walk you through a few things and just point out some important parts of this. I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed by all the information that's on this app, so we're just going to focus on certain parts of it. This is what you'll see when you first open it up. You might not have anything, or your left-hand side of the page might look different than mine because I've added things to that side, and I'll show you how to do that. But when you look at this, you can see some news items, which is very helpful because you can keep up to date on any business news, and that will come in handy for the assignment that we're going to do. I'm going to pick one of the companies that are listed on the left-hand side here. Let's say I open Apple. This will show me how Apple is performing right now on the stock market. At this point, it's 2:35 in the afternoon, so the market is open. You may see this graph moving. I'm going to show you today's data. You might see it moving and things adding to it, just so you know it is live. So this is how Apple stock is trading today, starting when the market opened at 9:30 this morning. And as you can see, it cuts off at 2:35 p.m. because that's when I'm making this recording. If you want to see how Apple has done over the last week, you would press 1 week. If you want to see over the last month, you would press 1 month. Or you can see 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and even 10 years. This is how Apple stock has performed over the last 10 years. As you can see, going back to 2010 and now here compared to 2020, it has gone up quite a bit. The number that you see in the upper right-hand corner, that 119, is how much one stock of Apple is selling for right now. And the minus 1.23 shows that it is down $1.23 per share as of right now on this day. The AAPL that you see at the top is what we call its symbol, and Apple Inc. is the technical name of the corporation. I'm going to go back to how it's doing just on this day today. I can hold my finger on the graph and drag it to see how much it was trading for at any given time of the day. Notice the time that is changing up above the graph. So let's say I want to know how much it was at 10 a.m. I'm going to come over here to 10 a.m. and it shows me it was $116.87. It crashed for some reason around 10:43 at 111, but then you could see it gained some value back, and it's just been up and down all day. Just a little bit. It's all in red because that means it is down from where it was yesterday. If you see a lot of red, that's not a good thing. That means the company is having sort of a bad day, although being down only $1 for Apple isn't really that bad. So don't get scared off that way. What's nice about this app is that it also gives you newsworthy stories. If you scroll down, when you are on Apple's listing, you can scroll down and see lots of recent articles about the company. And if I switch, let's say, to Disney, now I can see stories about Disney. And when you're doing this assignment, I am going to be asking you to include any newsworthy information that is worth noting. So maybe Disney stock goes up a couple days from now because Mulan was released on Disney Plus today, So if you see a big increase in the stock price, you might be asking yourself why that happened, and you could always scroll down here and read a story that might explain that movement. Maybe a stock crashes a lot in one day and you're curious why. You could go to this page and find a story to explain why. I have a screenshot that I can show you of a listing that I took a picture of the other day. This is Home Depot's, and this was back on September 3rd, but I wanted to mark up some things that are worth noting. First of all, on the left-hand side of the page here, you see where I wrote indexes. There are 3 indexes that are explained in the PowerPoint that's attached to Schoology, and I just wanted to point out those are indexes, those are not companies. You are not supposed to be using those in your project. They are just a benchmark, something to look at to get an overall view of how the stock market is doing overall. The symbol, like I said, HD is the symbol for Home Depot. I underlined the company name. That's where you would find the company name. The current quote, I put a rectangle around that at the top. When I took this screenshot, if I had bought a 1 share of Home Depot at that moment, it would have been $273.16. Something that you want to look at when you're deciding which stocks to buy, I circled 2 things in the middle of your screen there: yield and EPS. Yield is the dividends. That's showing you how much return are you going to get on your money. Dividends is the term used to describe the money that companies will send to their shareholders. And so the higher that number, the better. And then the EPS is a measure of the profitability of a company. And that obviously also would be the higher the better. The higher the number, the more profitable it's going to be. The more bang for your buck you are going to get. So that's a screenshot. So what are you going to do with this information? You are going to choose 3 companies. One, I want them to be from 3 different sectors of the economy, and you can see what I mean by that by going through the PowerPoint that's attached to Schoology. And this is the chart that we're going to work on the whole grading period. You can see I have it broken down by date. Each of those dates is a Friday. For the beginning of this assignment, I'm just asking you to choose 3 companies, put their company name and symbol in the top row. In the second row, I want you to put how much it was when you bought it. Now, obviously, you're not really buying it. This is just pretend. So put the price of the stock. And then in the third row there, why you bought it. Is it a company that you love? And, maybe they make clothing that you like to wear. Is it a company that your family works for, so you have a vested interest in it? Is it a company that you think does great things for the community? Like whatever your reason is. Maybe it's because you know that they're doing really well right now and you want to make as much money as possible, which, by the way, is usually the reason people buy stocks. So that's a perfectly valid answer. And then every Friday, you will look up the price and just type in the price when you looked it up on Friday. So that's keeping track of the ups and downs. And by the time we get to the bottom of this chart, at the end of October, you'll be able to do a little bit of math. It's just simple subtraction to see if you would have made money over the course of those weeks or if you would have lost money. And I'll be explaining this more, but this will at least get you started and show you why we are doing this. Let me know if you have any